Okay, so I wasn't expecting it to arrive, but this is the Under the Sea fabrics that I spoke of in the last video. And as much as I truly adore this fabric, was not what I was expecting, but it will definitely get a great use. So this is a 28 count Joblin. And, you know, this is why pictures never do fabric justice. The appearance of the color on the website was more of kind of a dark, stormy blood kind of red color with kind of black tones. Something that looked kind of Halloween-like by the name. It's called Vampiric. I definitely was thinking along those lines. That's kind of what the colors appeared. And, however, you know, this is Joblin. Maybe, you know, each fabric does dye differently. So, but this is very much pink and purple, which I love. Like my two favorite colors, purple and pink. And I love them together. And very dark and kind of stormy. And I will definitely make great use of it. And love it. It feels good. It doesn't have any abundance of, you know, perfumey notes to it, which is great. It's serged on the edges. Again, I love that when dyers take the extra time to serge. For those of us that don't have sewing machines, it definitely makes life so much easier. And then, you know, it's nice. It was nicely packaged. Arrived very safe. Arrived today. So love it. Happy. And if it stitches as well as it looks, I'm sure that I'll be trying them again. So thanks everybody for the recommendations. And I'm blessed with a friend that was able to help me get that. So, one of the things that I did find today on kind of the way back from one of my doctor's appointments was another bag of my stitching that I used as a carry bag. I guess I should kind of explain. There was a local needlework shop that I attended on a regular basis when I lived in the previous town. And I went there on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Those are kind of their open stitching days. And, you know, met some great people and had a lot of fun. And so what I did is I had a Tuesday tote bag, I had a Thursday tote bag, and then I had a Saturday tote bag. And then one Saturday a month they had like a 12-hour stitching from like noon to midnight. So, you know, I would take more than one project in each of these bags. If I was there for a few minutes, then I only stitched on one project. But if I ended up being there for a while, or I came in and out, which sometimes was the case, where I'd come in as soon as they opened, stitch for a little bit, leave for an appointment, come back, kind of do those kinds of things. So that's why I kind of had multiple projects, and it kind of helped me to start to take care of what was bothering me, which was my large number of whips. So it was kind of a way that I could work on them. And then I had a fourth bag that I would take to my friend's house when she would have me come over to stitch. My two friends, that I would go to their houses and stitch. And then I had a fifth bag, which was kind of my at-home project. So I kind of, because I lived in a very small area and most of my stash was under the bed, it was kind of nice to have these little 5 tote bags lined up with my whips. So what I found is my bag that I would take to one of my friend's house. Matter of fact, she got the bag for me. I love it. I am definitely a dog person, but I'm also an animal person, and I spent quite a bit of time as one of my many careers as a pet sitter, and so you know, anything animals is going to be right there for me. And I love these kind of abstract designs. I never thought that abstract would be my thing until I saw these. These are Laurel Burch, and it's the cats, and they're marvelous. So, in this bag are the projects that I would carry to her house. One of which is a Halloween pattern, and I actually pulled it out today, as I just wanted to put a few stitches into it, get it off the Q-snap here. I should get prepared for these videos, but what I'm finding out is right now I'm kind of doing them as the mood strikes and as I'm breathing well enough to speak long enough to do a proper video. So thank you for everyone who suggested about my lighting, and I will see what I can do about reversing the order, putting my camera over on the other side of the room so that the light from the windows in front of me instead of behind me. So I'll see what I can do about that. And then thank you for those that said the volume was okay. And I appreciate everyone's prompt replies. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Any kind of comments, I welcome them. So this is a Amy Brooke Designs, and it is Halloween Parade. I have seen the Amy Brooke Designs finished up in kind of some cutesy finishes. Wasn't thinking it was my thing, didn't think I would like it, but one of the ladies at the shop that I used to go to was stitching this, and she was using the called for threads and the fabric, and I fell in love with it. It looked absolutely adorable, and so I had to get it. So that is this pattern now. My rendition of it is nowhere near as good as the ladies that I was watching, and I kind of made a little counting error over here on my left side. I don't like to start at the center. The last projects that I started at the center ended up with a counting error, and then I had no room to fix anything. And so this way, if I just kind of measure down, measure in, I at least know that I have enough to do the left side of the pattern. If I get to the right side and have to cut something off, I guess I'd rather do that. I don't know. So here's kind of what I've got done so far. I have pretty much the mummy and the stars. Now he doesn't have his little basket right here because, as you can see, I'm very limited on space. So because I don't quite know how I'm going to have this finished yet, I'm not going this direction right now. And then I have most of the little witchy done, and then I'm starting on the little pumpkin man. So that's these stitches right here. So I have mummy and little witch, and this is on Peoria Purple by Weeks Dye Works, and it's 28 count. Looks like an even weave, probably I don't know, maybe they use a Joblin base. I don't know what they use as the base for this particular one, but the texture's nice. It is working very well on the Q-snap. I'm not having any issues with it distorting the fabric in any way, so I'm kind of happy with that. I'll put it back on the Q-snap properly later because I just didn't put it on right. I just covered up where I want to stitch. So we'll finish that later. What I'm doing is kind of a mixture of called for threads versus DMC. So the areas that are kind of larger, that the variegation in flosses is going to make a difference, I'm kind of going with the variegated tones. If small areas, or don't see that it's going to make that much of a difference, I'll just use the DMC. So I kind of have a little mixture here of those choices. It's probably about a 50-50 mix of what I'm using as far as the DMC and the other equivalents. If anybody finds themselves doing this pattern someday and are interested in the colors I use, then I'll gladly go over that. But it's not a popular series. So after I purchased this, before I'd even started it, I decided I needed to do all of the large characters for Halloween in the Witchy Pooh series. So that's Witchy Pooh and Frankenstein and or Frankie. And anyway, so it took me a while. It took some kind of confusion with the ordering system where I was ordering them from, but I eventually got all of the patterns that I needed. In fact, I ended up with two of them. So at some point I'll need to do some destashing of those. When I find those, I'll go ahead and kind of show those, and maybe if people are interested, I'll do a destashing giveaway, or I don't know, something. This pattern was given to me by a friend who started it and loved it, fell in love with it, wanted to do the pattern, and just found themselves with too many whips, and knew that I would love the colors and that I would love the pattern. And so this is going to be a kind of a combined effort. I've not put any stitches in it yet because I'm scared of my quality next to my friend's quality. I am still a new stitcher and have a lot of insecurity. So I'll show you the point that she gave it to me at, so that when I start stitching on it, we can kind of go through some differences. So the pattern is the Sweetheart Tree Blackberries on Gingham, and it's a Biscorn U pin cushion. And it is on, I love the gingham fabrics. I have a number of patterns on these ginghams that I really like. So kind of this is where she's given it to me at, pretty much, over halfway finished. The center and the outer area and a couple of the small beads here and some of the leaf and vine work. I kind of hoped she would have done one of the big blackberries, because reading the instructions I'm quite confused. But I'm sure I'll figure it out. It'll be a nice beading challenge. Not one that I'm actively working on yet. I have some other things that I'm kind of actively doing, and this one I know I'm going to need, some good light, some steady hand, and I anticipate some picking, so I will kind of go at that. So once I actually put some stitches in it, then I'll kind of go through its threads and its beads, and I've heard everybody mention the tacky bob, so I think that's something I'm probably going to need to get for this project. I'll definitely need to get a beading needle. So there's kind of some things I need to do before it's fully ready for me to do it all. I mean, I could stitch on it now, but I think I'm going to wait till I have everything together and get a little bit more nerve, I guess. We'll put it that way. Okay, so my love, and also my challenge. This has been a whip forever. It's in one of my first videos when I had a whole pile of things laid out on my bed. When I was kind of having my mini meltdown about how many whips that I had going. And, okay. So, I love dogs. You'll hear that a lot. It's gonna be pretty obvious. I was looking for a paw print fabric. Now, it is kind of hard to find dog print versus cat print fabrics. So, I understand that this is cat print fabric and I'm putting a dog on it. So, I understand that. I'm doing it anyway. The pattern is from Roveris. It's All I Need Is Love and a Dog. And what I kind of love about some of Roveris' patterns are these one-tone, negative space pictures. You know, pretty much it's outlines. So, what I don't like is she doesn't give you an indication of what fabric she did it on or anything like that. It's kind of much like Alessandra Adelaide, where they just kind of do what you want. So looking at how this photograph it appeared, excuse me, that it was something with some variegation to it, or it was just a gray with a light source applied. Not being able to find anything easily, I decided to go to paw prints. So, and then I'll have to kind of explain my mess over here. So this is where I'm at. It's kind of the bottom part of the dog on my little paw print fabric, and I'm doing this over one. This is a 28 count paw print fabric, and I do not know who the manufacturer is. I don't know if it's Fabric Flare or Picture This Plus, or who knows. If you know, let me know. I would love to find more of it. The needlework shop that I went to only had very little of it left, so this is kind of the biggest piece that was available, which is why I'm doing it over one. This piece of fabric is not big enough to do the pattern over two. Now I'm at the bottom of the dog, and I had started the pattern over here with the A for and and. Not paying attention one day, sitting, stitching with the ladies. I see an A. Picked up the pattern and just went LL, and then just, stitched all along the top. And put it away that night. Got home a couple days later. I said, I want to pick that back up and start stitching on it. And then I went, wait a minute, I'm stitching in the center. Why am I stitching all? So then I realized what I had done. So I am still unpicking, which is very hard to unpick red from white. So the base is white, and the thread is, 815, which is, as burgundy red as you can get. So there's still some places on the fabric that you can tell where I have unpicked it, like here, where there's still some pink there where I did some unpicking. And because it is over one and I stitch tightly, it is not easy to unpick this. Reverse stitch, rip out, frog, all those wonderful words. So this does not get the love and attention I want it to, because I get frustrated picking it out. So I do small bits and pieces of that. So I'll pick a number of stitches out. Once I hit a frustration point, so I don't want to rip the fabric, I just kind of back off and pick it up again later. So I do not know when I will have this all unpicked so that I can properly stitch this side. What I have been doing is the days that I unpick, I give myself a reward and can do half hour or whatever of some stitching on the good side. But because it is the monochromatic color, I do find, as much as I love it, I love the look, I have a boredom factor that I didn't know existed until this project, with one color without any variegation, even though the fabric is variegated. I've had other one color pictures, but they have been variegated flosses. So I've learned that if it's going to be a monochromatic, I need to either switch it out for a variegated floss, or chop it up into small pieces This video is already way longer than I intended. I get very chatty and in the real world, and as I'm finding, I am very chatty online. Another idea was brought to me of a kind of a strawberry-esque set of patterns, the drums that are kind of becoming a little bit popular to do in the kind of the sampler style. I know that I'm strange and that I like to do, you know, crazy, off the wall, you know, Amy Birkin, and I like to do old world samplers. Yeah, I know that's usually not the same person who likes all of that, but anyway. So I started thinking about doing this, the Passport pincushion. But a friend of mine is doing this pincushion into a drum. So she's making the pincushion is the top, and then she's going to do the drum side and then the bottom. And why not? So that's what I'm going to do. So basically what you do is you stitch all of the little motifs, and then you applique sew or somehow otherwise sew them onto the top of the pincushion. So at some point she's going to hopefully show me how to make a drum, and we will put it together and we'll take my little motifs. So what I have been doing, kind of waiting for doctor's appointments or sitting in the car, I kind of have decided to work on picking little motifs that I would put on this particular. Some of them are from that pincushion, some are from other patterns. So I'm just going to show. That one's not done. That one's stuck together. Okay, so if I turn this the right way, I believe this is a cat. Little gray cat. Gray blue, gray blue. That's nothing yet. That's just a little piece. Okay, so I have one of the flowers here, which I kind of love. And the threads that I'm stitching with are kind of one strand pieces of silk, various silks that my friend had. So kind of when she uses all of a skein and there's some left, puts it in a corner. Maybe she'll use it for finishing. So basically what I did is I just kind of wrapped them all into little balls and swiped them from her. No, she gave them to me. So I use just whatever random color kind of I reach in and pull out next. So some of these have some intention in the color and others make no sense. So here's my bunny rabbit. And then here is my itsy bitsy tiny flower. You can't really see it too well. There's a little tulip, and a little heart, and a little owl, and a little flower, and a key. And I'm sorry, I obviously have gone over my talking limit. My scissors with a little strawberry on them, a crown, a pot with a kind of raven crow-esque basic bird, and then another key. So I'll just keep going on these until I either have enough little motifs done, or she has come up with how we're going to put all this together. So it's just kind of where I'm at. Okay, so my needle minders for this project are two. One is this lovely blingy rhinestoney, there he is, a little dachshund. He's adorable. I bought two, one for me, one for my dachshund loving friend, and anyway, So basically he holds down one half of the side of projects. And then I was in a drawing for a free needleminder. There were 4 or 5 to choose from. Pick which one you might like, and if we draw, anyway. I love him. He is a little blingy turkey. He's so precious and so cute and adorable, and I'm thankful that I won him. And when I find all of my belongings, I'll be able to say exactly which needleminder company this was from, because I don't want to say the wrong one. And I will give them a proper shout out at that point in time. My project bag for this one was made by my local needle workshop. So they kind of did the black mesh here, and then I picked the color of fabric for the top, and then it has a zipper closure. I ordered this as a custom size to fit my the Q-snap that I had in this project, or in this project bag at first. So this was a custom order, and I do love it. I wanted it to have a zipper across the top and a zipper down the side, so I could just kind of lay it open because of how you have to put the zipper in, where you lose some space here and you lose some space on this side. It has made it a little tighter than I wanted for that particular Q-snap, which is why it's no longer in this bag. It's been moved on to another project bag, and of course this is getting great use and being used for this project. Okay, do I have anything else that is in process? Oh, how could I forget? So this was the bag going to my friend's house, and the 2 friends that I would go to their houses. So all the wonderful stitch-alongs that I've seen online, that I've tried to join into, and some I was successful in completing the mission. I was talking with my friend, and we both wanted to do the same Glendon Place pattern, which was Woodland Wonder. And so we finally, last year, we got it all kitted up. And our goal was to start stitching it at the same time and finish it by like November 1st last year, to get it framed or finished for Christmas. And my crazy housing situation issues came up, some personal health issues, her job went crazy, and neither one of us have done much. But it's a pattern I love. I want to work on it, and it calls to me, and I will resume. But I'll show you what I have so far. So it's not a true active whip, but it is one I want to get back to it. Little tiny threads everywhere. So this is being done on a 28 count Cashel linen from Picture This Plus called Earthen, which is a modeled kind of mocha tones. It's not a yellowish base. A lot of the browns that I've seen that are modeled have a lot of yellow tones, and I wanted this to be definitely more earthy. So Earthen definitely is the right fabric. So really all I have done is part of the left side of the border and the very top of one of the Christmas trees. So I again didn't start from the center, so I counted down, counted in, started there. I don't believe in wasting fabric. I will show at some point in time what I'm doing with some of my scraps, or what I envision doing with some of my scraps of cross-stitch fabric, where it's applicable. Definitely some of those scraps have been used in what you just saw. the little pieces I was using to stitch the different motifs on that are going to be cut out and stitched onto the drum. So that's kind of one use for them. Another is, if I'm stitching something in the center and there's a large amount all the way around, I'll kind of cut out the center with a like a quilter's cutter, and then that'll give me a frame, and then I'm stitching around the frame or the mat. And so then I'm thinking of doing a mixed media with a photograph, using the cross-stitched piece as a mat, and then doing a painted or distressed wooden or metal or whatever frame. So I'm kind of mixing multiple art mediums together. Not that I know what I'm doing. It's just I have an interest, and I'm excellent at thinking up ideas. Following them through, don't have the talent. So I'm thankful that there are a few people that I know that have that talent that hopefully can help me out. So my needle minder for this is Winnie the Pooh storyline with Piglet and his little pearly pink. Doesn't match the theme, but that's okay. Where my needle minder's theme works, I'll do it. Where they don't, I'll just put whichever one I can find. So, and I definitely do not have one needle minder for every project, nor do I think I'm going to get one needle minder for every project. So, needle minders will be used for multiple things. This doesn't have a lot of beads with it, but it had a few different Mill Hill colors. So to store them in, I just got a little, 7-pocket container. Just kind of hold this button in and you lift this top up. There we go. And then I'm just putting the whole pack of beads in right now. When I'm ready to start the beading on the project, of course, then I'll take the beads out and put them in. But I'm a long way off from the beading process. So I think this is the safest way for me to keep them safe. So I did finally make myself a little card. So what I'm doing is giving the, cross-stitch pattern number, in other words, the 49th thing that I've started. Its name, who it's by. Like this one, I'm stitching along with someone, so I'm putting that here. And then if I remember the start date, because some of these cards I didn't start till later on in the process, so so I technically started this August 1st of last year, and kind of mid-August, September is when everything went wonky with me, so has gotten no love and attention. So that is pretty much my whip update from this bag. Is there anything in this bag I wanted to... Oh! When I get all of my items together in one place, I'll probably do a whole tools thing. Not that I have a lot of tools, and I'll do true stash videos, but so just a couple things that I carry in this bag are the little stitchy gloves. These are just, they're not warm, they're not compression, really. They just, to me, they just kind of keep my fingers lined up. I have bad arthritis in my hands. Watching Kitty Crew and a couple others, I think there might be a glove solution or a wrist solution that I'll be expanding to in the future. The same lady who purchased the bag for me got me a lovely little needle case. I'm pulling all the needles out of it so I don't So it's a wooden needle case. It's wooden. And then it's painted with little teeny mice on the bottom, which is very appropriate with a kitty cat bag. So, mice that go along with my kitty cats, which works out great. I do like these kind of wooden needle holders. It's easy to kind of find where they are. I need to get more of these and kind of put one in every bag. I love the artist was even able to put on the very, very end a little tiny mouse. So my friend is wonderful to me, and I love her dearly. On this particular project, it was one we were going to really work on me learning how to lay stitches better and things of that nature. So she says, well, I'm going to see how a trolley needle works for you. So she purchased me my first trolley fingertip needle. Now, I love that it's blunt, so I'm not going to stab myself, like cut my skin, but I could stab myself in the eye with it. So I am working on different ways that I may utilize it. I really can't use it on my thumb, which is what I wanted to because of the shape of my thumb and the joints there. So I think I'm going to be working with it on kind of a first finger or a fourth finger rotation. But to do that, I would have to put this into a frame, and right now I am working, or when I was working on it in a Q-snap. So really not able to practice a lot with this yet, but a goal. And beautiful scissors, and yes, I know that the scissor fob does not match the color of the scissors. I'm perfectly okay with that. So these are Premax, I can't read, Pramana scissors. Very nicely sharp. Don't weigh a lot, which is good. Big enough holes I can get my fingers in. And then, you know, she got me just the perfect scissor fob for me. So she got this at a store when she was in South Texas. So this is a frog with a dragonfly, and he spins, and he's blue, and I love him, and I get lots of compliments, and everybody wants to borrow him and then not give him back. So he's very precious to me, and especially appropriate in this bag with my project that I have tons of frogging to do. So that's kind of the overview of this particular bag and the haul that I just received. And I think that's pretty much all I have to go through for right now. My videos, I guess, are not as organized as I would have wanted them to be. And this one is incredibly long. So I'm going to work on trying to shorten, sweet. So, goal to work on. Everyone enjoy all of your stitching time. Hope everything is going great for you. I'm loving that we're finally getting some cool, true spring-like days instead of, 88-degree summer days right now. It definitely helps my respiratory issues to not be too hot. And everyone just have a great day. More comments about if this lighting structure works until I can figure a way to get this side of the room moved to that side of the room. Otherwise, until then, it would involve moving some furniture that I don't know that I'll be able to do with this particular room. Let's see if this works better. Also apologize for the continued coughing. I do not know how to edit yet. I have not learned any video editing, so I do not have a way to take these things out yet. Bear with me. I'll work on increasing my knowledge in those areas. So have a great evening and keep stitching those memories.